folks, welcome again, Toronto Humane Society, your boys, the Soaring Prophets. Today with Lauralee Dorst of the Toronto Humane Society. And what are you? What do you do?
What am I? What do I do? I am the Director of Community Animal
When
Welfare.
you can't always remember, that's how you pitch it. You just put it back and away you go.
Yeah, we have no idea who this lady
And she's
is.
no fun.
None at all.
She's
She
no fun.
literally just walked off the street from the catnip room.
Yeah.
I have no idea if she even belongs here, so
Somebody
let's see what happens.
Check the badge.
Right. Registered vet technician by trade.
What is that?
What is that? The
Yeah.
best job in the world.
Let's go.
I get to hang out with animals. I get to heal animals. I get
go.
to reunite animals.
So,
Yeah,
pretty cool job. That
Yes.
sounds like every little girl's dream.
100%.
How did you end up here? First of all, how did you end up here?
Yeah.
But why?
Then why Toronto Humane Society? Like, how many vet clinics are around? How much all this sort of thing?
I'm going to say that you don't make a lot of money here, but I've paid vet bills.
Mm-hmm.
They seem to make more.
Yes.
So why here?
Okay, well, let's start. As a child, grew up on a farm. I had dogs, I had cats, horses, chickens, anything you can think of. But then when I moved in town off the farm, I was around 3 or 4, and I came home with a dead rat. I think a sewer rat, and I walked
the good
in
kind.
cuddling it. And I could remember hearing my mother screaming, but I just, as a young child, always had this connection and this gift with animals, and I can understand animals, can't explain it.
Yeah.
So that's where I've had a troubled childhood, so I always relied on that companionship for my animals.
I love that.
So went back to school after not graduating high school and got my GED, and then went to college to be a vet technician. And then I guess the rest is history. I've hopped around from general practice and emergency clinics. I've worked in research. I've done the pet insurance. But 3 years into being a vet technician, I ended up here at Toronto Humane Society, and it's been my home for over 12 years.
So what is it about Toronto Humane Society that's a little bit different than some of the other organizations?
Right. So it's a non-for-profit, and what really drew me to this organization was how long it's been around, over 135
Amazing.
years. The mission and the values that they possess at the time, and just really trying to make a difference in what drew to me as a person and what I wanted to contribute to the industry. So it's been a work in progress. It's been growing from saving animals, homeless animals, to now I'm in the community animal welfare. So really honoring the human-animal bond and keeping animals in their homes and trying to keep them out of the shelter.
Well, that seems like this angle that we are completely aloof of. The general public has no idea that you folks do that. Yes. Again, we were talking with Karen Ward, the head vet here, and when she talked a little bit about that, it's not just we take these homeless animals that have nowhere else to go. You folks are stepping in early. You're doing some of this social work and outreach aspect. 100%. Maybe you can talk us a little bit through that. First of all, why? Why is that important? Why, it sounds like you're doing it proactively, so they're not ending up on your doorstep. I understand that. But when you're keeping animals in their, forever homes,
beautiful.
Hey, branding, the branding, we're getting it. But what does that look like? Why do we do that, and why is it so important?
Right. So I think the industry has definitely shifted. The sheltering industry has shifted in the last, I would say 10 years, but definitely in the last 5 for us, and being more proactive and keeping animals out of the sheltering system and in their homes. We're seeing the value that animals bring to people, that bond. I've seen heartache when people have to separate and that bond is broken because of financial reasons
100%.
or medical reasons, whatever the issues or challenges those folks are facing at the time. Yeah. So we've really made a stance that we want to be proactive. And how can we be proactive in keeping animals in their homes, keeping that bond strong? So I feel that this new position that I came into in January of this year, the Director of Community Animal Welfare, is really speaking to me from a personal note. I've always the last 4 years, I was overseeing our public veterinary service, so servicing the community below market rate, really preventative medicine approach. So vaccines, spay, neuter, trying to keep those animals healthy at an earlier time in their life to keep them out of a sheltering situation.
Yeah, I think that's amazing. When we were talking to Karen Ward, she mentioned about how it's so important to do both the behavioral stuff, teaching pet owners how to communicate with their animals and really get into that. But also the vaccines are important because then you're not reacting. Because, you know, dealing with heart disease is way harder than getting heartworm medication. And I know nothing about this stuff. That was a guess.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Nailed it.
Yeah. But then there's also, like, there's times when crisis strikes. Like, so this is not anywhere the same, but I was away from helping my daughter because she had an operation, and I have a dog. Okay. So my dog was being taken care of by my tenant, but she was not capable of taking care of poor Charlie. So then I was stuck. I actually did call a Humane Society to see what it would look like to move, you know, rehome him. Right. Not that I wanted to, but here I am 2 hours away, and my daughter is more important at the moment.
Of course.
Fortunately, I had a group of friends. They all came in, including this guy. But I don't know what I would have done if I didn't have that big group of friends. And to know that you have ways of helping people like that, maybe they couldn't pay rent. It's my dog or rent.
Right.
Or maybe my dog is so sick, and I had my dog had diarrhea for 6 days. Well, I went to a vet and spent $400 to find out he had a tummy ache. Right. I'm not going to do that.
That's a true story. It just happened, folks.
It just happened. I'm not going to do that if my dog is sick and I have no money. I got to feed myself. Right. So what aspects are you, like, specifically, my dog is sick, what do I do? And how do you help?
Right. So I just want to touch back on your situation.
Sure.
So you're not the first person that I've
100%.
heard where they're in a situation where either them themselves have a medical issue or they are getting evicted from their homes. So we have the urgent care program, and that program is specifically designed for folks that are in a difficult situation where they need temporary housing for their animal, but not having to surrender. So we will bring them into the program and foster them and send them out with our group of foster parents that we have for a certain period of time, up to 6 months, where we will care for your animal until you figure out your situation. Yeah. So you, with your situation, if you called us, absolutely, if you're like, I need a 2-week foster, this is what's going on, I'm unable to care for my animal, and it's a decision between either I'm having to like relinquish my bond with him, or then we would be like, yeah, absolutely, we could do that.
My biggest hurdle was I was so embarrassed by it that when I called, I didn't want to have a discussion with the person. It was more like, I'm in a situation where I have to rehome my dog, and I really wasn't looking for a discussion. I was like, what are my steps?
Right.
So when they talked to me, I didn't know anything else. Right. But so that's why I'm glad that we're able to give this to the world, because this is so important. Right. My dog is everything to me. It's who greets me when I get home. So I love that.
We also, and not to cut you off, sorry, but we also have another program. It's our Pet Parent Support Network, where you can call in or you can send an email what situation is happening, and we can provide you resources and steps on what to do or other things to try before having to make a more difficult decision, because maybe that is the only decision. But in terms of like medical care, right now, like in the our public vet clinic, we're under a certain scope of practice. So right now we're really focused on preventative care. Okay. We would like to open that up into providing a secondary level of care, so like ear infections, eye infections, but right now the need is so great for just simple vaccines, getting into an appointment, getting that heartworm flea tick prevention, that we're booked every day, and there are waiting lists every day because people either can't get in, they can't afford it, whatever the barriers are. So we're trying. But there's a lot of work to be done.
Can you speak to that embarrassment? Because I know I'm embarrassed. So if I wasn't able to take care of my dog, or I don't have the money, and I have to come to you hat in hand, that's embarrassing. So what's your suggestion on that? Like, do you think that people should be embarrassed? Like, everyone struggles, right? So what would you say to that?
It's hard. I mean, I can understand, and I've had many conversations with folks in the community. I don't know how to speak to that, because that's your own feeling, right? Like, you're embarrassed because you feel you've taken on this life and you're caring for this life, and then sometimes a situation happens where there's a challenge with doing so. We here, and what we're trying to do is absolutely not be judgmental. We're trying to put resources available for those to reach out, to feel like we are a resource hub. We're not just a shelter. We are way more than just drop your animal off, surrender. Like, we are here to support you in how we can with the resources that we know and the expertise that we have in-house to be able to keep that bond together. So
I think it's such a unique piece that not enough people know about with what you guys are doing. That's why we're here. That's kind of the idea of what we're here to do today, is kind of spread that message. But like James was saying, is that there's a bit of an unwritten rule in society that if my dog ends up at the shelter, I've done something wrong.
Right.
Like I've messed up. My dog ran away. Wasn't for 1,000 different things. And I love that you folks are working to break that down. You know, having the social work side of it, putting that out there, having those dialogues and that communication. I think it's fantastic.
Yes.
If someone was to come into what you're doing now, like what do you need from society? What do you need from the public to help you do the best possible job you can for all of your, I'm going to call them residents, right? Your people here.
Yeah.
What do you need? Do you need volunteers? You need money? You need support? How can people help you to continue doing amazing work?
Obviously money, like the 1,000 trees.
Right.
The Malcolm Project book.
Absolutely.
That they are selling, and the money goes directly to the Toronto Humane Society.
Absolutely.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
But what else?
I think you named it. Honestly, all of the above. Volunteers.
Get off your wallet and get out there.
Come on in. Welcome to the telethon.
And I think where the misconception is too, Toronto Humane Society is completely donation based.
Yeah, we were just told that. That's amazing.
Funded by the government, by anything. So like being a monthly donor, contributing whatever you can, being a foster parent, being volunteer. Volunteers, you almost fell off the chair. Getting new chairs.
New chairs. Yeah. I'm not going to lean back.
We're getting a new chair.
Yeah.
But yes, and spreading the word about the good work that we do, I think is super important, because there's still people get us confused with Toronto Animal Services, or like we're all the same shelters across Ontario, when we're not. We're our own
and that's again with
so.
what they're doing here with the Benjamin Project. They're going out and working with other shelters, other organizations, drawing funding. But the biggest point is the advocacy, right? Like, we don't need the Sarah McLachlan commercial for $5 a day. You can save an animal in a cage.
Who doesn't turn that off right away?
Everyone. Like
you
cry the first time.
I can't watch it.
You cry the first time, and then you're like, I was having a good day. And I'm done, right? But so there's so many other ways that you can help your community. And who doesn't love a beautiful puppy or kitty or rabbit, or I don't know, do you guys do lizards and all kinds of stuff?
Yes.
Snakes?
Yes.
Okay, I'm not so much into the snakes.
Wait, are they here?
We had one not too long ago. I would have to go down and see.
Are they in the room with us?
No.
I've had a couple psychiatry patients that might be concerned right now, but no. Yeah. Well, so Lauralee, again, all of the supports that you see, all the people that are around you, the amazing people that are here. You folks are doing 135th anniversary. The pictures where this organization started are wild. Come check it out.
Yeah.
But the volunteers, the professionals, all of those people, you've been other places.
Yes.
Toronto Humane Society obviously hits home for you.
Yes.
Why?
I can't even sum it up. I don't know. I drive from Milton every day. So
I love
that.
The
commitment in itself.
Now, do you go DVP? Because that is not good.
No, the Gardner's worse. It's down to 2 lanes right now. So like my personal commitment to this organization goes beyond words.
I love it.
We're constantly growing. We're constantly looking to improve where we can make an impact in the industry and in Toronto, in the community.
Yep.
And that speaks to me personally. Like, I miss being hands-on with the animals, but I feel I'm able to contribute so much more.
I love it.
In what I'm doing.
Absolutely. Well, folks, again, Toronto Humane Society, 135th anniversary. We're here supporting. This is how you touch your local community in an easy way. You can have a lot of fun. Come down and volunteer. Get the Sarah McLachlan music. Get it out here for a cup of coffee a day. You don't even have to have the flies in the eyes. It's amazing.
And honest to God, there's no snakes roaming around.
Not yet.
Have we verified?
The chair might break, but there's no snakes. Thanks, folks. As always.